resumes his second tenure May 29th. But until then, speculations are rife over who will make up his cabinet, who will the president surround himself with, who will be appointed to which positions. Now, we know that has always been the criticism against the president, the types of people he has chosen to appoint in very important positions in this country. That is what is forming our discussion right here on What Next, Mr. President on Roots TV Nigeria. To have this conversation, I have starting right here close to my left, Dr. Tony Akubono. He is a political affairs analyst. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
And we have Mr. Max Oga, very vocal political analyst. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me, Lady Gloria.
All right, let's go straight to it. You are close to the members of the APC. So, Mr. Oga, who do you think the president will surround himself with? Who will be the persons that will make up his inner circle, his cabinet?
Well, I expect the president to pick his team from eggheads amongst us, from competent hands amongst us, from people with vision and focus. But of course, that's my own expectation. Politicians will always compensate those who worked for them, whether or not they are competent. Those who put in money, those who toiled day and night to ensure the president wins, he has to make his choice from amongst them.
You're saying this is what happens all the time, or this is what should happen?
No, this is what happens.
This is a tradition.
Yes, this is a tradition. So it will be. I will not be academic here by just saying things that are not realistic.
So for all intents and purposes, we're going to see a cabinet filled with APC members, and not necessarily if they are square pegs and square holes. It's a case of who's close to the cabinet. Who's close to the president.
No, it will be a surprise to me if the president appoints. If the president's appointment exceeds 5% of non-APC members. Oh, yes. It will be a surprise to me. Yeah, because people invested. Now, I pick Lagos, for instance. Senator Mamora worked so very hard between 2014 and 2015 for the president. Right? Now, for 4 years running, he has not had any appointment. He came on board again and worked so very hard. Right? So you don't expect that the president will go to Lagos, for instance, and pick a technocrat who is not a member of the APC, leaving a man like Senator Mamora. Then I'll also take you to the southeast, right? Where so many people went against the wishes of their people to work for the president, to emerge.
Example.
No, I don't want to mention names.
Okay.
So you don't now expect that the president will look at all of those people. I won't mention your friend Owele. So you don't now expect that the president will look at all of those people and leave them and go for technocrats. No. It doesn't work that way.
But that spells doom for this country, because if it's really not about who can do the job and who is close to me, that's an issue.
I am a realist. Right? There's the ideal, there's the reality. I am a realist.
All right,
I tell you the way it is. Those who invest, even the Bible itself says, look, do not deceive yourself. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he reap. Galatians chapter 6. So those who have invested, those who have sown, right, definitely will reap. You don't expect, like I tell people, that day will never come when Mr. President will raise up a finger against Rotimi Amechi. No, that day will never come. No, that day will never come. And that day will never come when Mr. President will overlook the demands of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. No, that's the problem.
Okay, I will throw a name into the mix, but I want to get your thoughts on this, Dr. Akubono. You have actually been listening and smiling. So, what are your thoughts?
Well, I would like to be a bit disruptive.
Go ahead, please.
Right. That question, for the sake of those listening, would I be answering that question? Considering the fact that in the first place, well, like the lawyers will say, of course, the matter is already in court, so it's sub judice now to begin to discuss the credibility of the poll, because personally, I'm sure you are aware, my movement, Red Card Movement,
you supported Atiku.
We did not just beyond that, we did say that we are behind Atiku going to court because we won the field and believe that the election was not credible. So we are happy that he has challenged it in court. So we'll wait for the outcome. So we'll not discuss that now. Talking about appointment, whoever becomes president at the end of the day.
Oh, so the reason you're saying you want to be disruptive is you even believe that before May 29th we may not even...
Whoever becomes, there can be so much speed of light. You understand my point? You know, but if the judicial becomes very fast. But whoever becomes president, the point is this. In trying to appoint people that will be in your cabinet, we should not make the mistake we made for about 4 years. Without mincing, we've made so much mistakes. Apart from the president in 2015 that was very sluggish in considering his cabinet. All right? For somebody planning to be president for several years, almost a decade, you were sluggish. Now, when it came to a point, what happened? We saw a lot of nepotistic appointments. There is no nation that can grow under nepotistic appointments. You understand my point? Just look at the whole network, the whole architecture, right? What problems do we have today apart from the economy? Apart from the economy, understand my point? When the lady from Ogun State actually left as Minister of Finance, what happened? Somebody again from the North came in. So, justifying the fact that we have a nepotistic president and
but it was the same president who that appointed Kemi Adeosun anyway.
No, listen to the point. Now, while we're trying to discuss the matter that we are struggling with security architecture in this country, where you have virtually the operational heads in this country in security are from one part of the country and from one religion. Now somebody left again and you made a replacement, somebody from your region. Hey, come on, give me a break. I mean, we cannot, if the president is lucky to continue as the president, he should not make a mistake of continuing that line because there will be failure.
Let's talk about something right here.
No,
before we move on to the...
Yes. When we are analyzing issues, we must be holistic and realistic. Now, at the time Sister Kemi, like I want to call her, left, the Senate of the National Assembly was on recess, right? And there was, in quote, a fight between the executive and the legislature at that point.
Of course.
And of course, the Ministry of Finance is too sensitive
to have been left vacant.
Sure.
So you're trying
waiting for when a nomination will be sent to the National Assembly, screening done and all of that. And the president pulled someone from a related ministry.
See, the question people are asking is, why must that someone be from the northern part of the country? That has always been the question. This country has 6 geopolitical zones. You have got the south, the southeast, you've got the southwest.
My sister.
I mean, why not replace Adeosun by another person from the southwest? Why not?
Excuse me. We had a civil war in this country, right? The person on the other side of the table, Chukwuemeka Odumegwu, surrounded himself, all with Igbos. Philip Effiong, from the part of the country where I come from, was supposed to be his deputy. He was sidelined. So these things have always been there. Even in the Bible, you have it there. When you have opportunity, do good to all mankind, especially those of the household. Let's not pretend. That's why, yes, I'm a student of history. Go back, while Ahmadu Bello was busy building his people, while Awolowo was busy building his people, your brother, Nnamdi Azikiwe, was talking of one Nigeria. That's why you people, the Igbos, have never gathered to honor Nnamdi Azikiwe. But the Yorubas keep honoring Awolowo, even in death. The Northerners keep honoring Ahmadu Bello, even in death. Look, these are realities.
I don't think this shot is thrown at me. I think Dr. Kabuza, that shot is straight at you.
Let me take it off from this point.
I had told you here before, right? An average Igbo man, right, does not like Buhari. So I would have been surprised if my revered doctor and co-panelist had taken any step different from...
Okay, so you're saying that he... Please, let him respond. Let him respond.
You see, Frost has said that professionally, you know, in medical practice, we don't dance around the truth because we deal with lives. You understand? We're very specific, straight to the point. Now, I'm not viewing this from the prism of ethnic sentiments. No, I'm going to be very clear. Why I mentioned nepotism is because these are constitutional matters. All right. My co-panelist here is telling me that there's nobody. Now, if I threw a question back, I'm sure he will struggle.
Please,
who is representing Ogun State in the cabinet today?
No, I'll respond.
No. Before you respond, all right? These are constitutional matters. You understand my point? If we say the Senate is busy and he's trying to give a defense for a nepotistic president, all right? The Senate is still busy when we have the core commanders and operational heads of the security architecture that are due for retirement in service chiefs. They are still in place. Why? Because they are from the same part of the country. There's a defense for that.
Is the chief of naval staff from the north?
No, you hear what I said, operational. Listen, chief of naval staff, for your information, they deal with waters, all right? Chief of army staff, these are operational commands. If you understand what security is about. The DSS, the DG of DSS, the Secret Service, is headed by somebody from the north. You want me to go further again? NIA is headed by somebody from the north. The only non-operational areas where you have Southerners are Chief of Defense Staff, which is not operational. If you understand what that means. So anyway, let's not even go there. The Chief of the people that are operational, that are effective when it comes to operations, are the Chief of Army Staff, Chief of Defense, Chief of Naval, Chief of Air Staff, the DSS head, the NIA boss. Those are the people. And again, just look around, Mr. President. Just look around the cabinet. Even where you have the oil coming from the Niger Delta, for goodness sake. Mr. President, who is from the north, till date, contrary to his decision, he's still the head of that ministry. And the person that is GMD is from the north. Let us not pretend that the president is nepotistic. He is, for goodness sake. So when in coming back to answer your question about what the president should do, I said he should not be nepotistic. His focus should be on people that are competent, all right? People that are capable, and people that are credible. Now listen, when you are picking people that are competent, capable, and credible, you can't pick somebody. It's not somebody that is your brother from the original, as the only competent, credible, and capable person. Definitely not. You can't tell me, for goodness sake, that the people today, let's take the military again, as I'm saying, these people are due for retirement.
Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about the cabal in this environment, because whether you like it or not, there seem to be a group of people around the president who some people believe are the ones making all the decision, and the president is just, I don't know, cosmetic head. Well, I'm trying to make it sound as decent as possible. So I'm coming back to you. The case of this cabal, of course, we have the First Lady has made mention of this, and she even is in support that the people who labor with her husband should be the ones who should, you know, get political appointments. Now, the influence of this cabal, let us talk about it. Are they going to play a huge part this time in appointments? Well,
there will always be a cabal. Well, I'm being realistic, right? There will always
right or wrong?
There will always be a kitchen cabinet, right? Where we are not benefiting from it, it is wrong. Where we are benefiting, it is right. Do you understand? Like I tell people, my spirit tells me that one day I'll be governor of Cross River. And when I become governor of Cross River, I will not leave Ikom and begin with Akpabuyo or begin with Calabar municipality. That's the truth. So you begin, no, I'm coming, I'm being realistic. You begin from within. Charity, they say, begins at home. Now, what we expect is that no matter the pressure, no matter the influence that comes from the cabal, right, the president should endeavor to balance some things. You don't take everything that is said to you by those who have influence over you, hook, line, and sinker. Right? Some advice they give to you, some things they throw up before you, subject them to scrutiny by some other people. Now, we'll be deceiving ourselves if we sit here and say that, look, it is only in the presidential villa that we have a cabal. Every government house in this country has a cabal
people who
that is in charge of running affairs. In the state where you came from, a former deacon, Ifeoma Nwobudu, was the head of the cabal when Sullivan Chime was the governor. I'm sure you will not dispute this. Oh, sure. While Duke held sway as governor of Cross River, Lieli Moke is very good friend, and Geshon Bassi, who is today a senator, is very good friend. They were the ones who ran the state. They called themselves the three wise men.
Here's my question.
Right? So we have always had this. It is an African thing, right? So we cannot throw away this overnight. So let's not make it look as if this condemnable act is exclusive only to
But you see, a lot of people have criticized this particular government that is going to be the next government of not doing so well.
Doctor will not.
Okay. Well, with all due respect, as we stand right now with INEC results, this administration is going to be the next administration. If that changes, then we will be right here to proclaim that.
Okay.
Until that happens, as you want to.
Until
that happens, I mean, we're working based on what we have on ground. But let's throw some names into the mix. Some people have actually said that the reason that Akpabio is stepping back a little bit, soft pedaling a bit with all of his accusations of the fact that his mandate was stolen from Akwa Ibom is probably because he was promised a ministerial post. Like I said, it's a speculation. Have you heard that? Do you believe that? And throw in some names of people you think we will definitely see in this cabinet.
Sorry, before you go into that, because the issue of cabal, let me just quickly chip in this, right? When people say cabal, is just a cover for incompetence. The president is commander-in-chief. When people are not competent, they hide under the cover of a cabal manipulator. That's not true. You recall that before the campaign started. Before the campaign started, all right, what happened? The president was in cabal account. He wasn't talking to Nigerians, going abroad. When it was campaign time, he addressed Nigerians frequently, always addressing. So he knows what he's doing. The cabal story is just a cover for incompetent leader.
All right.
That's all.
All right. Let's talk.
A competent president will not have a cabal.
Let us throw some names in. Some people have already thrown Akpabio into it for ministerial post. Who else are people? Who else do you see will definitely be there? You have named two people, one from Lagos, one from, the South, which somehow that feels a bit interesting. He's already saying that nepotism will play a huge role in this situation. So even the person you're quoting from the South may or may not make it if what he's saying is true. But then another name, and then if I know you don't want to play this game, but you do have to.
Let me jump into this. Let me jump into this. First, do not forget that these are constitutional matters, right? Every state will be represented in the cabinet.
I'm talking
about the choice of the president, right? What I keep on focusing is that let the president not begin to appoint people based on those that are either close to him or close to his wife. Primordial sentiment.
How did his wife come into this matter? No,
listen, you know why it comes into this matter? Because you heard the wife on set saying that we voted for this government, but just about 3 people are controlling this government. That is the voice of a woman that is frustrated, that is being stampeded from calling her shots. That's what it means. If you interpret it very well. That's just it. So the president should be careful not to begin to appoint people that are close to him or close to people around him. Primordial sentiments.
Interesting.
That's it.
Let's hear your thoughts and then we'll round up.
Well, I expect from Lagos, of course, you have 2 or 3 nominees, and from Lagos, I also expect Governor Ambude's name to be.
That's an interesting one, considering that he was edged out of this, so he had to be compensated.
He was edged out.
He was edged out.
Would that prejudice to that?
We'll put that down. We'll put that down somewhere.
But it's really very sad that we are looking at appointment based on compensation. This is not a family business. This is not a family business. You are not sharing land here. This is Nigeria. You can't be working based on, if you are talking about compensation, then what is the stake of those that actually creating the resources in this country, Nigeria data people? Today, nobody's talking about restructuring because everybody wants to take the oil money. That's all.
No, excuse me, sir.
Nobody's talking about restructuring.
No, we're talking about ministerial.
No, listen, I'm
Delta will have a minister.
No, listen, you're not getting my point. No, you're not getting my point. What I'm saying is that it should not be based on, if you talk about compensation, trust me, Niger Delta would have been like New York today. These are the people bringing out.
The Niger Delta had the president for 5 years.
What's your point? The region is underdeveloped. That's my point.
A president ought to have.
You are getting my point. My Veletos, truth is something that is sacrosanct. The Niger Delta region, that's where I'm from. I'm from the South. It's underdeveloped. And that is, if he shuts down the wells today in Niger Delta, everybody will leave Abuja. Where's the money coming from? They don't have money anywhere. They're just stealing your money. That's why they're afraid of restructuring in the first place.
Before we round this up, I want to put it to you, Dr. Akabono, that in case of compensation, even the PDP did do a lot of, well, it has been said that the PDP did do a lot of appointments based on compensation when they were in power as well.
Yeah, I'm addressing the political class here.
Okay, so
I'm not a member of any of these political parties.
Right. That's why
I am attacking the political class that is grossly incompetent, so nepotistic in the approach to life, and it must change.
Doctor, that's why I said it is our problem generally.
Oh, we'll change it. You can't support them. You can't dance around them.
We'll get there. No, we'll get there.
No, you must get there now.
The system is
involved. Tomorrow is now.
And they say we must get there now.
Now,
in terms of getting things right, it's been quite an interesting conversation, and we would like you to get involved with this. Please give us your thoughts in the comment section of this video. What next, Mr. President? May 29 coming really soon, but a lot of people want to know what the president plans to do way before then. This is Roots TV Nigeria. My name is Gloria Oji Emodi.